Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats, media are very upset that Judge Eileen Cannon, a Florida judge appointed by former President Donald Trump, is presiding over the case. I'll read you a couple of articles. Slate magazine. Trump indictment, how to force Judge Eileen Cannon off the case. Gee, it's never good when Trump complains about a judge, but I guess Slate has no problem complaining about a judge. So when Trump says, well, that judge is biased, people react with indignation. Oh, how dare you try to disparage the democratic process? Then, of course, when a judge has the audacity to have ruled in favor of Trump before, and she did so, it's, oh my God, she's not going to be fair during the trial. If anything, she actually will be fair. You've had President Obama and Clinton appointed judges consistently rule against Trump. Nobody on the left cares. So Miami Herald, magistrate to preside over Trump's arraignment. Okay, so hold on one second. I keep on getting... All right, Insider, how Trump can easily avoid conviction following his latest indictment. NBC News, how the Florida judge overseeing Trump's trial could hobble the Justice Department's case. Well, of course she could. And here's how. She could give the jury instructions that address the exculpatory evidence they're almost certainly not giving to the court. So the DOJ, in numerous cases, George Papadopoulos, Michael Flynn, the Mueller probe cases, withheld exculpatory evidence. All the time they withhold evidence that could exonerate the person they're going after. Okay? In George Papadopoulos' case, he never even stated what he was accused of having said to the Australian diplomat. In Michael Flynn's case, there was never even a criminal act. He never committed a crime. The Federal Bureau of Investigation had already reviewed his phone call with the ambassador. So number one, Judge Cannon will almost certainly make sure that the jury hears all the exculpatory evidence. For example, in the Durham probe special counsel, the jury was a DC jury, was not given the opportunity, to view a text message that actually showed the attorney in the case lied to the Federal Bureau of Investigation official. He actually stated, no, I am not coming on behalf of any client, and he was being paid by Clinton. But the jury was not able to see that, so that's not exculpatory. That's evidence showing that he committed a felony, and of course, he was acquitted. But the jury did not see in the Durham probe case, and then, of course, media was jumping for joy, and Democrats were super happy. But the jury was not able to see or utilize that text message stating clearly that he had lied, thus forcing the jury or compelling the jury to acquit the attorney during the Durham probe special counsel. So the jury instructions are very important. I don't understand how juries can operate in this manner. How can you, as a human being, if you know that a piece of information would have completely altered, or evidence would have completely altered your decision, yet you're told not to factor that piece of evidence in and operate as a robot, as if you had never heard the evidence before? That's very bizarre. It's a bizarre way of looking at things. But here, there's a National Review article. We'll just say the Trump indictment is very bad for him. Different word, but you have all of these assumptions. So, for example, Clinton had servers, actual servers. Yes, I understand the double standard, and hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the love in the prior segment. And these are segments that I'm doing that show you there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And that I'm reading from public record sources that they don't want the judge on this case. Hit subscribe again. They don't want the judge on this case because they know the judge has already ruled in favor of Trump during the initial persecution. She actually, when the special counsel and the Federal Bureau of Investigation took all of the boxes from Mar-a-Lago, the Florida judge issued a ruling that appointed a special prosecutor to separate what was personal from Trump and not personal. Well, of course, that was then appealed. But, oh my goodness, people were so upset because Trump wasn't treated in an even more egregious manner. My God. How dare you just treat Trump in the manner that anyone else would be treated, namely not indict him. But Clinton had servers. So when the National Review article talks about how, well, though these are boxes, he shouldn't have had these boxes, he was a president with the power to declassify. He had already stated he declassified everything. Then they said, oh, well, there's a very, very incriminating audio tape. You'd have no clue if he's being hyperbolic, okay? You had emails from people working alongside Clinton talking about how the President Obama knows, okay? I wrote a Daily Caller article on this. President Obama knows that Clinton has these servers, okay? That implicates President Obama in all of that entire fiasco. She's transferred and siphoned classified data onto servers. And Andrew McCarthy, amazing, I love Andrew McCarthy. He writes in the National Review and other places, New York Post. He stated, well, there's the double standard argument. You can't really focus on that because it's not a legal argument. That's true, and I agree with that. But there has to be some kind of legal avenue to say, wait a second, and this is where the Supreme Court comes in. You target Trump, but you allow the Mount Everest of classified data nightmares. Clinton had servers. Trump had boxes. Clinton was a Secretary of State without the power to declassify. Neither did Biden. Biden had no power to declassify as senator and very little power as vice president. And Trump had the power to declassify, was working with the National Archives. So, and there's also legal precedent. I mean, talk about legal precedent. Bill Clinton had classified data on tape. And the judge ruled that it was he owned the tapes with classified data because he was writing a book. And he stored those tapes next to his socks and underwear. And I'm not even joking. I mean, it's so outlandish you can look it up. Okay? I mean, you can look it up. That is the precedent here is that everyone gets away with infinitely worse, but they go after Trump. And every person on the planet knows what it feels like to see another person doing something worse, and then you get, singled out. Everyone knows at some point in their life what that feels like. So the jury instructions are going to be favorable, very likely going to be going to facilitate the jury acquitting Trump or the case being tossed out. There's no evidence that Trump did anything intentionally. He had boxes with data that he declassified. He was working with his attorneys. The Federal Bureau of Investigation gave him a thank you note, according to the Wall Street Journal. Clinton and her team destroyed with hammers hardware and then deleted all the hardware and servers and said, here you go, Federal Bureau of Investigation. I mean, everyone sees this. It's not like people don't see what's taking place. And then Hunter is accused of summarizing classified data. So, yet again, Democrats have made a mockery of classified data by going after Trump in order to, to save face. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe, and thank you for the love on this channel.